Hey, Tony Gaskins here with Controlling Lovers. I think I'm calling this thing different names on different outlets, but Controlling Lovers Part 2. Now, this to the ladies, I want you to understand this, and I'm gonna do one for the guys too. But I want you to understand this, ladies. Men today in our society, men naturally, generally are controlling. It's a natural thing for a lot of men, and I don't know if that comes from God or if it comes from society. But from the beginning of time, even in the Bible days, when you read the Bible, women didn't have any rights. So it could be societal. But at the same time, I can't say that it's God, because as a man, we are a sucker for a woman. If a woman has our number, if a woman wants us, if a woman wants to deceive us, to manipulate us, she can do it. As a woman, you have complete control over a man. You can influence nearly any man, unless that man is walking side by side with God and God is speaking to him and ministering to him. You can control that man however you want to. You know, my wife has a very, very strong hold on me, and a huge amount of control. You know, when she wants to spend a certain dollar amount on a party for my sons, or a certain bag or shoes she knows exactly what to do, exactly what to say, and I can see it happening right before my very eyes, and I cannot stop it. I mean, I can see it. It's like I can see it in slow motion what she's doing, and I cannot stop it, and I do not understand it. So I do know that women have influence, and that influence is controlling it in its own right. And a lot of women misuse that. You know, it's different. That's my wife. But a lot of women misuse that on boyfriends or on sugar daddies, you know, and a lot of women misuse it on men who they know they don't want. And that man is just a sponsor to them. And guess what? When you misuse it, it will come back to haunt you. You are creating, you're sowing seeds that you're gonna have to reap that harvest. And it may be thistles and thorns, but it will come back on you. But what I want you to understand is that a lot of men want to control, want to tell you what to do and what you can't do, where you can and can't go, who you can and can't talk to. I need you to recognize crazy early. See, when you first meet a man in the first month, that's when you have some time. You know, a crazy man won't show you his crazy typically inside of 6 months. So inside of those 6 months, but really inside of that first month of real dating, meaning y'all talk every day, that's when you have the opportunity to kind of imprint on that man, having him watching the videos you want him to watch, reading the books you want him to read, having the conversations you want him to have. You have about 30 days to really, really imprint on that man. And this is real casual, you know, it's real casual. It's just like, what do you think of this video? You know, what do you think of this book? Let's read this book together and let's talk about it. It's real casual. You know, it's not like a job interview, and it's not like on the job training. If you know that you don't sense any crazy in them, then you can stretch it. You don't have to do it in the first 30 days. You can stretch it to inside the first 90. If he's even more lax than that, then inside the first 6 months, you have some time. But what I need you to understand is you have to pay attention to crazy. You have to recognize crazy early. The only way you're going to recognize crazy is if you know what sane looks like. If you know what a good man looks like, if you know how a good man treats his woman and how he talks to his woman, how he protects her, how he provides for her, who he is for her, how he carries himself with her, around her, without her. When you have an example of that, if you don't have one like your father or your brother, then you may have to look online. You know, you may be looking at the only example you may see, or you may have a guy in your church or somewhere that you can talk to, and you're going to recognize it. Some men who look like they're doing the right thing, when you have a conversation, you'll realize that he's just fronting. It's all a front. It's a lot of men who do what I do, and they sleep with their clients. They deceive and manipulate their clients and end up having you giving him extra money or having sex with him because you thought he was Mr. Perfect. So nobody is off limits. Nobody is perfect. You have to watch that person and make sure, because you'll know the tree by the fruit that it bears. So you have to pay very close attention. Don't just say because he's a pastor, he can speak into your life. Don't just say because it's Tony Gaskins, I can speak into your life, because it's this person or that person. No, you have to watch that person. You only listen to my words 50%. You got to watch actions. And sometimes you have to see how that person acts with you, because you can see a video and it's perfect, but you talk to a man, that's when you're going to find out if that man really lives what he teaches, especially if you know that you're the type of woman who can seduce a man and get a man to change it up and to come on to you and try to sleep with you, because it's happened in the past. So you have to be very careful who you choose as your example for what a man should be and how a man should carry himself. And I say that saying that I'm not exempt. You have to really evaluate me just as hard and trust your intuition. And you're going to see in due time the real will be separated from the fake. And 80 to 90% are fake, but the real will be separated from them. So you have to pay attention. Now, once you have that, now you see what love looks like. You see what a man is. You see how a man treats his woman. Now you have something to compare it to. So when you're talking to this man, you hear how he thinks. You hear how he talks. If everything he thinks and believes is the opposite of what you know to be a real man, that man is crazy. He might not be crazy by choice. He might be crazy by force. He might be a product of his environment. So what you have to do is make it out of that conversation very cool, very calm, very cordial. You never even tell him that you know he's crazy. And then after that, you very, in a cool way, cut ties. You know it's not going to work. And you have to do this within inside them first 3 months. And if you recognize it and inside the first 30 days, cut it off right then. Because see, the longer you play with crazy, the longer you stretch crazy out, that turns into the gentleman that's in Cincinnati, Ohio right now, you know, on the loose and kill the innocent man. That's what crazy becomes when you don't recognize crazy early and address it and remove yourself from it. But if you say, oh, I can change him, or I can change him, or I'm going to play with it, I'm going to deal with it, no, it's going to explode. This person needs help. They need real help. That's a mental health issue. And you may have to, in a way, you know, if you feel it's on you, if you feel it's your place to say, you know, you've been through some things in life. What about counseling? Have you done counseling? You really should try it. I've done it. It worked. You might be lying. You maybe never been to counseling. It really works wonders. You know, use your influence, a little bit that you have right then, to speak into his life. And he may say, you know what, you're right. I'm going to go get a counselor. Instead of trying to keep calling my friends and talk to them, they're not professionals. They don't know what to tell me. I'm going to go get a counselor or a therapist or whatever it is. But use that influence right then when you recognize crazy to, maybe through text message or on a phone call, speak to it. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of crazy going on. But the worst thing you could do is ignore it and say, you know, it's okay. It's going to be okay. I can conquer it. I can take charge over it. I can influence this man, you know, to change. That's the worst thing you can do. He has to want to be better for himself. And if you remove yourself from his life, if he wants to be better, he will become better. He will work and he will do the work, and he will make sure you see and that you recognize the work that he's doing, and you'll be able to see a change. But you cannot play with crazy. You cannot play with crazy. So if a man is condescending, if a man is controlling, if a man is rude and disrespectful, if a man curses at you, calls you out of your name, if a man wants to tell you what you can and can't do, who you can and can't be, where you can and can't go, that man is crazy. He is certifiably crazy. He has mental health issues, and it's because of the life he's living, the things he's gone through, and you got to get away out of that conversation smooth and easy, and then run as fast as you can. If you got to change your number, whatever you got to do not entertain crazy. Hey, that's part 2. I'll be back. God bless you.